I got data. Where the fuck was I? Damn it! I do this every single time. I don't fuck with you! You little stupid fuck boy, I ain't fucking with you! Hey guys, Kaitlyn here! Today I'm going to be sharing with you a story. Although I don't have a very interesting life, I just kind of decided I want to share with you the little bits that are interesting, or the little bits that are funny, or the little bits that are kind of fucked up. So without further ado, let's get started into the story. I'm gonna flip my viewfinder because I don't want to look at the viewfinder. I want to look at you guys. I want to see your pretty faces. Alright, so this story right here is gonna be my first fuckboy experience. And this is probably not gonna be the type of video you think it's gonna be. Like, I didn't send nudes to nobody, and my nudes didn't get leaked. I don't even take nudes. This is like just the relationship kind of fuckboy experience. Story starts last year in about May-ish. This is our very last night at the cadet hall. We're like returning our instruments, playing a nice old game of baseball, and this guy and I are, you know, standing at the edge of the field, and we're just having a good old conversation. We're just talking, we're friends, we've been friends for a little while, we're talking, we're discussing who's leaving the squadron and all this stuff. He brings up the person I at the time liked. His name is Danny. I'd liked him for just a couple months at that time, but he brought up Danny and how he was planning to quit, and so me being like, oh my god, I really hope Danny doesn't quit, I was like, is he quitting like the squadron or just band? And you know, Shane was like, oh, I don't fucking know. Shane was the guy I was talking to. This is who this video is all about, by the way. And then like we go home and Shane hits me up on Facebook and he's like, do you like Danny? And I was like, why? He was like, oh, I'm just wondering. So I was like, okay, we're friends, yeah. I was like, I can tell him this, like, yeah, I do like Danny. He was like, oh, okay. He was like, oh, you guys would be so cute together. And I was like, oh, thanks. Like, this is awkward. And then I kept bugging him. Like, I was like, why did you ask me if I like Danny? And he's like, I don't know. He was like, oh, I was just wondering. And I was like, okay, whatever. Then he messages me back a little bit later and he's like, oh, the reason I asked you if you like Danny is because I like you. And I was like, oh. And he was like, do you like me too? And I was like, no, I'm sorry. And then he started ignoring me until September. So this cadet year rolls around, like the one that just passed. We're friends, we talk like friends, we act like friends. I pretty much comforted him through his one breakup, which his relationship lasted like 2 months, but throughout this entire time I still liked Danny, so obviously I wasn't like looking for no relationships or anything like that. Now, we go fast forward to the year-end trip. Year-end trip was in Ottawa this year, which although it was in Ottawa, it was still a pretty sick trip. I had gotten data so that I could like post on Instagram and like Snapchat and all that fun stuff, and I could document my trip while I was on the trip. And I was on Instagram and I had a shit ton of notifications and I was like, what the fuck? This kid, Shane had liked every single one of my Instagram pictures, all 74 of them at the time. And then he inboxed me on Instagram and was like, can I tell you something on the DL? And I was like, sure, but like text me because like I'm on data and I don't want to waste my data if I can just text you. He didn't text me and I messaged him back on Instagram and I was like, yo, I'm gonna punch you in the face, like text me. So he texted me, he's like, oh, why are you gonna punch me in the face? And I was like, cause you're a twat. He was like, oh no, I'm a twat. Long story short, he was being really awkward about it. He was like, oh, I'll tell you when I'm ready. And then like at that point I was like, he likes me. He texted me back like 10 minutes after he said he'll tell me when he's ready. He was like, if I tell you, you promise not to tell anyone, right? And I was like, yeah, sure. And like, obviously I did not tell anyone because here I am on camera telling the entire interwebs about this situation. He was like, OMG, here it goes. I like you. So I was like, that's what I thought you were gonna say. And I don't know why, but for some reason I was feeling it. I was like, you know what? Maybe, you know, maybe this will be something good. Like, maybe I'll like, you know, date him and maybe something good will come out of it. I was also like really hesitant towards it. I was like, I don't know, like I still have feelings for Danny. I don't want to jump into anything if I'm not like truly like, if I'm not all there emotionally and stuff like that. And he was like, oh well, you know, it could be really good, like you just let go of Danny, you know what they say, when one door closes another one opens, like you'll get over it eventually. So then band practice following the year-end trip. The year-end trip was on the May long weekend and band practice was on the Thursday after the May long weekend. My friend Muskan, she is like running around laughing at this guy, laughing at Shane because he sent a girl a selfie to get her number. And here I am, I was like, oh damn, I thought you thought I was special. Turns out I wasn't. And we had also made plans to hang out that week. He got called into work, so he canceled on me, and I was like, to be honest, I was pretty glad that he canceled on me because I was like, I kinda don't wanna hang out with this kid alone. Damn! I was like, you move on fast. Provincial band competition rolls around. We kick ass. My friend Alice holds a party. It's not really a huge party. There's only like 7 of us. This entire like night is gonna be a separate video because it is a story time on its own. It's myself, Alice, Shane, and Danny. It's us 4 plus 3 of Alice's other guy friends who none of us have ever met before. Basically, like that entire night, you know, we were celebrating, we were drinking, we were whatever, and then Shane and I were like acting really coupley and shit, and we were like cuddling and stuff, and then everyone went to bed and we started kissing and making out, and he was like, oh, like please give us a chance, like I think I could be really good for you, like I want to make you happy, I think I can make you really, really happy. I wanted to go to bed and he wouldn't let me sleep until I agreed to give him a chance. So I did. I want to say that it was all just because I wanted to go to bed, but let's be real, I was like in the moment and I was like, maybe this could be good. We went to bed. I ended up sleeping on the floor because the couch we were trying to share was not big enough for the both of us. So anyways, he gets up at like 7 o'clock the next morning to go on a run with his mom, kisses me goodbye, and I'm like, okay, now I finally get to sleep in comfort. He texted me like 3 hours later and he was like, hey, like I'm sorry, I like you, but I also really like other girl. Actually, no, he didn't end up getting together with her. He had gotten together with her on the day of competition, on the day of the party, on the day of our little encounter after everyone went to sleep. So he cheated on his girlfriend at the time with me. Anyways, moving on. Anyways, yeah, so he texted me the next morning. He's like, can we just be friends? Like, I like you, but like I like this other girl and like whatever. And I was like, you know what the fuck ever. Like, it's like if it ain't what you're feeling, it ain't what you're feeling. However, secretly I was pissed off. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why the fuck would you do that? That entire week and the weekend following competition, I was a bitter old bitch ass. I was so rude. I was talking mad shit. I was telling people what happened, like everything. I was a dick. But let me tell you, I found out later that he was also talking mad shit, so I do not feel bad for this at all. He even had the audacity to put May 23rd, like, in his bio, his Instagram bio, because he got together with this girl on, like, and I was like, no, hold the fuck up, homie. That was the day of competition, the day of the party, the day that we had our little encounter. And I also had a really guilty conscience because I felt bad for the other girl. I was like, I'm a whore. I literally let it happen. Like, what is it gonna do? Shane ended up telling this girl what happened. They broke up, but this girl isn't even mad at me. So we get back from the military tattoo. This is the weekend after competition. Shane blocks me on Instagram, and I'm like, okay, you donezo, like, you ended this one. Then a week later starts hitting me up again, and I'm like, bitch, no. So I shut him down completely. He gets pissed off. A week later starts hitting me up again, and this is around Canada Day. I made a Snapchat. Right after I checked my schedule, I was like, oh my god, I'm not working Canada Day. Who wants to come to the lake with me? The lake is like where we have all of like the fun festivities. So he Snapchats me back and he's like, can I come to the lake with you? And then we basically just started flirting a shit ton and planning to go to the lake together, planning to be in a relationship or whatever the fuck we were actually doing. He was like, oh my god, I'm so excited, like, Canada Day rolls around. He texts me the morning of and he's like, hey, I'm in Coburg, I can't make it tonight. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm still going with my friends, like, I went with Sam and Maddie, like, it's no big deal. Or Sam was driving Devin home. Shane texts me, he's like, hey, I'm going to the lake. And I was like, oh, okay. He was like, yeah, Alice is driving me. And I was like, oh, is she going for the fireworks too? And so I obviously knew that it was gonna be her Shane and Danny because Alice and Danny are dating now. So I was like, okay, well, I'll be with Sam and Maddie and we're just going back for the fireworks. So Sam, Maddie, and I go back to Sam's house. We have dinner. We are walking back to the lake. We are walking literally down whatever fucking street that is. People are all around. Shane texts Maddie. Maddie obviously doesn't have his number. Maddie was like, who is this? And he was like, oh, it's Shane. And she was like, oh, okay. What does he fucking say next? Oh my god. He texts her back and is like, okay, come make out. And I'm literally walking right beside Maddie. She shows me the message. I literally gave the loudest like laugh, scream. I was like, ah! And like Sam was like, oh my god, shut the fuck up. No, 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 like this is done, like whatever the fuck was gonna happen is not happening no more. Then Sam, Maddie, and I are walking on the pier and we run into Shane, Danny, and Alice. Of course, Shane is like, oh, what the fuck? Literally told Shane that I was with Maddie, and like tension is so high on the pier. I'm like I avoided Shane at all costs. I was like, And then Danny and I just didn't talk. Danny has like the cutest fucking siblings ever. Like his little brother.
He had his little brother and like he has a boat and they were like on the boat, so he was like, his little brother had a life jacket on and his little brother's so cute.
We left, we went our separate ways. We crossed paths again once and then I just didn't talk to him again. Fireworks happen and Shane is still texting Maddie. Shane is like, can you come to the end of the pier so we can talk? Sam was like, no, like fuck. She was like, unless you want to walk home, you're gonna come with me. Originally, like, Maddie was like, let's both go. And I was like, yeah. Now we're moving on. This is the day after Canada Day. Mind you, I have gotten like almost no sleep the night before. It was my first day of summer school and I just worked for 6 hours. So I was tired. I was like sweaty and disgusting. I was like pissed off because work sucked and I don't have data. So I couldn't just like check any of my social medias on the way home. What is the first notification I get when I walk through my doors and my phone finally connects to the lovely Wi-Fi? Snapchat from Shane. Like, I literally threw my phone down. I was like, fuck this, fuck that, fuck you, fuck you. No, I'm not doing this again. So I just ignored him. It was good. I hope you guys enjoyed this clusterfuck of a story time. If you want me to do more story times, I will think of fun experiences or really fucked up experiences to share with you guys. If you want more story times, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and to click that subscribe button down below, and I will see you all in the next video.